If it's
Okay,
illegal
Brian, we do not, contract law and criminal law do not exist under this idea of textualism. They exist under intent. So if you go to someone and say, do you have the thing? And they go, I have the thing. Do you want to trade a pina colada for the thing? And you go, yes. And then you hand him a stack of money. They don't go, damn, he bought meth, but he was buying pina coladas, so we can't arrest him.
Okay,
they say the language you use had an intent, and the intent will be interpreted by this court, and we will ask a jury to make the determination.
Okay,
so let me just finish. When the intention of those Democrats explicitly was built around, there were billboards put up all over the country telling people, and these were illegal too, saying, do not follow these orders explicitly. That is illegal. And there was a nonprofit doing it. When you have the media and everyone around saying, one, we call this the Tweedledee Tweedledum death threat. The first thing that happened was a bunch of Democrats came out and said, Trump's orders are illegal, explicitly. Then, after that was in the media cycle for a week, these Democrats came out and said, do not follow illegal orders. You cannot play a Tweedledee Tweedledum defense. It doesn't work. The point is, the question of the court is, what was the intent of these politicians? The intention was playing on the context that Trump's orders were illegal on billboards, on TV, on talk shows, was to tell ICE agents and Marines to defy their active orders. That's it. That's a crime. End of story.
Yeah, that's
now the death penalty is not correct.
Oh, come on, man. Like,
I don't know if I fall for that either. Like, if you're telling them not to follow unlawful orders, which is what they said, then you're just kind of telling them to follow the law, really. So I don't know how you get them on a crime for telling somebody to follow the law. Like, it's already a law that you're not supposed to follow an unlawful order.
I feel like sometimes people act like they're not just like the reality of things. Like, they're sitting there and they're going out and you see billboards around. People are always saying everything is orders that he's putting out are unconstitutional. It's illegal. It's legal. Then you see the video. It's like, don't you like hear the music? They're all trying to paint a certain picture, even if it's not true. Even if it's not true, it's like,
that's Donald Trump's entire life.
How do we not see it go down this direction? Like, how do we not see that? How do we not see when you have billboards, then you have later on a video comes up?
You're
like,
literally describing Donald Trump's entire life.
Okay, fine. I'll grant you that. How do you not see this, bro? How do you not see when COVID, they were sitting there going, if you sit there and you go against the narrative, you're out of some polite society. How do you not see these things? When they're sitting, the music is going in this direction, and as soon as somebody questions it, you're like, wait a minute.
You want to talk about not being able.
Saying, how do we not do that?
You want to be able to talk about not being able to see things? You want to talk about Donald Trump? I would like to do that with you.
I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
I'm talking ultimately to the people on the left and how they treated average people like myself in their career.
I got to stress this.
Are we going back?
Hold on, wait, stop. No, I gotta bring this up. I gotta bring this up because Brian, you is abject wrong. This is not what you signed up for.org. These billboards were all across the country, and this is
wrong about.
This is explicitly a crime.
Wow.
When you have so here's what they did. They had billboards that said a couple of things. One, they said only obey lawful orders, and that's all. And then a link. Others said, are you loyal to the Constitution or to ICE? Because this is over National Guard and Marines working with ICE.
Who put up those billboards?
Private NGOs and PACs.
Okay.
It resulted in this. Now, hold on. This is explicitly illegal. And by all means, I can say, where are they at with arrests? Instructing military members to use encrypted communications is a crime, 100%. Not penalty of death, but this is overtly illegal. Look at this. Be sure to access resources outside the military or government computer.
I don't think HPPCD here knows that he's watching from the beginning of the video. Like, he must have pushed back and he's watching the Seth Dillon interview still. I think that's why he's texting this. So that's why I kind of find it funny. So sorry.
Why did they throw it out in court when Donald Trump tried to
This wasn't thrown out in court.
legally? No.
That
Democrats specifically.
Because we are
in the death stuff.
Because there are two countries there are two nations existing in the borders of this country, and there's something called venue selection. I think you would agree that if it goes before, if you have a proceeding in West Virginia, 86% Trump supporting, you are likely going to get a pro-Trump outcome. Do you know why Watson v. RNC, the lawsuit over mail-in votes, is happening in, I think it's Mississippi? Is it Mississippi?
I think so, yeah.
Do you know why it's happening there?
No.
This is a strategy put in place by Republicans to overturn California's laws.
Right.
But if you sue in California, you'll get California judges who will rule in their own favor and their own interests. So you target the federal issue in a Republican state with Republican federal judges, so you guarantee you get the outcome that you want.
Right. Didn't they just sue the DOJ and the DOJ settle with them?
Who did?
Oh man.
So let me put it like this.
It was a group. They sued him.
So
and the DOJ was like, all right.
So
just gave up because that's what.
Watson v. RNC probably already came down by the time people are watching this. It may not have. This could effectively end mail-in voting or in the broad sense. Likely, just you will not be able to count votes after Election Day, which would mean Republicans would not have lost the 2018 midterms. With this ruling in 2018, the Democrats ended up winning because 2 or 3 weeks after the election, late arriving ballots flipped it for the Democrats. Mm-hmm. If they rule in Watson v. RNC that you cannot do that, Democrats are not going to win this midterm. That's going to be nuts. My point.
Not going to win.
Don't hold your breath for that. There's the same Supreme Court that also says we got to keep anchor babies forever because after the Civil War they made the slaves be, they were anchor babies, so they were born here, so they made them that way. So now we have to just keep it in perpetuity forever. Anybody can just wash up on the shore and shit a baby, and now you're a fucking citizen. So don't put any faith in the Supreme Court. Just don't.
And for a lot of
my point ultimately is, now I'm losing my train of thought. With this story, you have Democrats explicitly telling the military to question their orders. Again, saying obey lawful orders is on the line. The court is going to interpret this on the intent, not on those statements. To the point of venue selection, they go to Mississippi to file this claim against Republicans because what they would do in California is they would refuse to appeal. They would intentionally throw the case so that they can do one of two things. They can get favorable judges to defend them, but they don't want to go to the Supreme Court. So they might give a narrow ruling that you can't appeal or let it die. Trump has used this tactic. I forgot which case it was. We covered it, where there was 2 or 3 people filed a lawsuit against the federal government over something pertaining to the military. And the Trump administration went, you win.
Yeah.
Preventing their ability to appeal to the Supreme Court so they can't get a national level
general
precedent.
terms, obviously, there's a difference between questioning an order and believing that you've been asked by a superior for an unlawful order. If you're asked and you believe it's an unlawful order, it is your duty to speak to another superior to question that.
Okay,
If you
let me
believe
ask you a
it's an
question.
unlawful order, that's not against the law.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Oh man.
Do you think, let's say Ian and I are standing outside and there's a big raucous mob screaming and smashing things. I scream to those people, we must kill all Nazis on sight. And then Ian points at you and goes, he's a Nazi. So they run at you with pitchforks and Molotovs and murder you. Should Ian and I get in trouble for what we said individually?
Well, it could be incitement. You could make the case that you incited something to happen. It's possible.
Well, it's not because legally, hold on, legally I created no imminent threat.
Right.
So the law for speech becoming incitement is when you say, I want you to do this thing at time.
Right.
So go do this now. I didn't say that. I said, we must kill Nazis. Ian then pointed you and said, you're a Nazi. Neither of us told them to do it.
Right.
I think it's a gray area. And
we call it the Tweedledee Tweedledum.
It's a gray area. Listen, I don't know how much time we have left here because I know we were going to debate a little bit about Trump's 18 months. I think that's what we agreed to do a little bit.
Yeah.
If that's okay. I don't know if we could.
Well, let's just go for it.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
So there's 2 parts for me when it comes to Donald Trump. Number one's personal. Number 2 is policy. Right. I and I vote a little bit differently than maybe some do. I think if you've lived a chaotic life, you're probably going to be a chaotic president. So we can start with the personal stuff and maybe then go to, not you and me, I'm talking about Trump, and then go
We're doing that after the cameras go off.
No, I think you're a nice guy, and then maybe go to some policy stuff because we don't have a lot of time left.
Right.
You have kids. Mm-hmm. I'm wondering how you can vote for a man with his
I think they had sex. That's how they did it.
personal stuff, the cheating, the lying, everything.
Oh, that's the best part.
Stuff that he says.
He's an alpha. He's an alpha.
Yeah.
Well, I would.
Well,
I think
let
he's
me-
the liable
finish
sexual
first.
abuse, for
Finish it
example.
first. Yeah.
Attacking Gold Star families. The John McCain statement, which I thought
I
was
don't believe you actually
atrocious.
believe that sexual assault claim against Trump.
E. Jean Carroll, you're talking about.
Yeah, let me just say this. You know how I know you don't actually believe it? Because I saw you lay down the second nuts yesterday to a guy who had you had a queen high flush against
I'm
the
a good poker player.
So hold on. And this is funny, but it matters. This was a masterful
laydown.
laydown.
I made a professional laydown.
It went runner, meaning like extremely hard for 2 diamonds to come out on the turn in the river.
Right.
So it's very unlikely. He has the second best possible hand. and the other's got the best possible hand, which is flush over flush is extremely rare.
Insanely rare hand, yeah.
And he literally said, "I know what you have. You would never do this. You've got the nuts." And he shows
Everyone
the
at
queen high
table was,
flush,
like, in shock.
and then he's like, "I'm laying this down." And the guy was like, "You were right." And he flips over the king high flush. The ace is on the board.
Brian.
So how could you see through? My point is this:
Yeah.
I've watched you make similar hands, seeing through the obvious deceptions and plays. You've made good folds. You've made excellent calls. And then in the E. Jean Carroll thing, you're just like, I just believe this one.
By the way, on a side
Like,
note,
no way.
I lost a bet to Tim, and he's making me wear. Well, he's not making me wear a Donald Trump hat, and he's putting me in the World Series of Poker. So I figured
He's got to wear a MAGA hat while he
Hey, for
plays.
10 grand, at least we start at 10 grand.
Yeah,
Right?
but I'm glad you brought that up because now you made my point for me.
Oh yeah.
In poker, we
I would kill to play this bitch in poker. I would kill for it.
have something called a read. Okay, it's history. No, hold on.
Yeah.
Hear me out on this, Tim. You'll appreciate this. So the read on this individual was he's a tight player. He's not a foolish player. He's not going to be betting with a crazy hand. I think he's a pretty good player. He's a tight player. Here's my read on Donald Trump. It's a poker read. He has all these women that have accused him of rape or sexual assault. He's a womanizer.
Ruining my poker analogy with another TDS moment.
Okay. His own ex-wife in court documents in a deposition said that he raped
Interesting.
her. And
For
then
5
she dropped
minutes.
it when he paid her off. Hold on. The poker player.
Sure.
Hold on. Hear me out. 30 seconds.
Right.
The poker player has a history. Okay. This wasn't somebody who I just sat down at the table with and I don't know anything about him. If that was the case, I make that call. Donald Trump. This isn't just somebody that randomly a woman said, hey, he raped me 30 years ago. No, this is a guy who has a history of womanizing. That's my read. It's my read on Donald Trump.
I'm gonna say this.
Can I-
real quick?
not
just-
make sense? Am I not making
I want
sense?
people to
To a certain
understand. I want
extent,
people to
yes.
understand this. Like,
Does that not make sense, Tim?
but so let me just say this: for people who don't play poker, they need to understand how good of a laydown that was, and this is why I don't believe you. This is why I don't believe you. And I want to explain some things. So first,
I'm not bluffing, Tim. I'm not bluffing.
so hold on. On the flop, there's already a straight present.
Correct.
There are sets. They're all. So it was 6-4-3 on the flop.
Correct.
With one diamond, the turn is an ace.
Diamond.
So this means ace of diamonds.
I have the second nut flush draw.
So this is what this means. Someone could have pocket sixes for a set. They could have 6-4. It was a limp pot, meaning tons of players are in.
Right.
There are so many hands that might actually try and make a heavy play by jamming.
Correct.
So to fold the second nuts, where you could be looking at two pair with an ace combo. You could be looking at someone who had a straight but now doesn't believe the other guy's got the flush. Like the point is, when it comes to players, and you're mentioning their play history. When you are good at poker, you also recognize their play history includes trying to manipulate you based on their play history.
Right.
That is, by all means, you can say that Trump did everything you accuse him of in terms of rape
History.
and that history. But the E. Jean Carroll case is like watching a guy, like. Well, I'm not going to get. I don't want to get too esoteric with poker, so people don't understand. But the E. Jean Carroll case it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't add up.
Yeah.
This would be where you would have an ace high. So
Can I ask you a question quickly?
real quick. My point is this: to use a little poker analogy.
Yep.
The E. Jean Carroll case, with everything she described it and how she outlined it, she was wearing a dress that didn't exist.
Donald Trump
Hold on.
Okay.
She was wearing a dress that didn't exist. No one saw them. The most famous men in New York go to the 6th floor of a building. They somehow found an unlocked room, even though they're all locked. Like nobody stopped them on the way there.
It changed the law to be able to bring the.
And that too. None of that adds up in a traditional poker game. And I know you would do this. It's the moment where you hero call with ace-4 offsuit because he's got 6-7 and he missed his straight draw. He's got junk. That's the E. Jean Carroll case. Now, by all means, accuse Trump of everything else.
Let
But
me
this
just talk
case
to E.
is
Jean Carroll.
insane.
And yes, that was a world-class laydown. Thank you for mentioning it. But I appreciate that,
He's
Mr.
like-
Poole. All right.
I was surprised. I was like, wow.
Yeah. Well, I'm a
nuts.
I'm a good poker player. Tim's actually a pretty good poker player too. It's fun playing poker with Tim. But real quickly, and that was true by the way. I will be wearing a MAGA hat in the main.
I got him,
I
boys.
cannot believe I'm going to be doing this. And aren't I wearing a shirt?
You know what though?
Well, no,
Brian?
that's your
You know
choice,
what though,
but-
Brian? Like that says something more about your character. That it's even though you see the videos.
I have a lot of friends. Anybody who knows me can attest to this. I have a lot of friends on the right.
Well, but here's the other thing too. Let's be
But
like I'll be
the difference between I think even you holding these positions and how I've even interacted with some people personally that I know who go,
MAGA.
right?
We
Because
got him,
MAGA.
boys.
I got
That's the
I got
difference,
George
which is actually still
Santos a
decent thing.
paid gig last week.
Oh,
Wait.
putting money in people's pockets.
But I want to be,
Hey,
in
brother,
all
my
honesty,
bad. Yeah, you're right about Trump. What's going on?
we all know that forcing Brian to wear a MAGA hat actually is going to generate a lot of buzz.
I know.
And, it's going to be
Help out.
hilarious.
He's
so
a smart media guy.
we got him.
Can I ask you about each?
And then the last point is
Yeah, go
he's
ahead.
going to wear the MAGA hat, and the left is going to go after him like crazy.
Oh, they go after me because I was criticizing Kamala Harris last month, and I said if she runs again, we're fucked. Sorry, excuse my language, but I was called a racist for that. But anyway, to the
Carroll.
E. Jean Carroll thing, real quickly, and I know we're not really going back into that case too much here, but E. Jean Carroll had the dress that she was wearing, that she claimed she was wearing,
But
and
that dress did not exist. at the
Donald
time she
Trump
claimed.
refused to take a DNA test. Why? If
Wait,
he's
wait,
innocent,
hold
why
on,
would he do that?
no.
Because this is America,
I got to pause
Cuba.
because there's a procedural argument against the you should just submit.
Right.
So
it's America.
I'll give you the really generic example is if you have nothing to hide, why don't you just let them spy on you or read?
Right.
So the very simple argument, surface level, we can talk specifics on the DNA stuff, but the surface level is this. When there's a guy named Moxie Marlon Spike who I interviewed about, I think he started Signal actually.
Yeah.
And the question is, if you've done nothing wrong, you have nothing to hide, what are you worried about? And he said, the problem is there are many things that we as a culture believe should be legal, but are illegal. And he says, marijuana is a really good example. At the time I interviewed him, he said, marijuana is rapidly becoming legal across the country, but how would people know they wanted it to be legal unless they were doing something illegal? And so the government is procedural. It does not care what you did or why you did it.
When the doctor writes the prescription, if you like it, you like it. That's how it happened to me.
They will just say, if we can find the crime, we're going to put you in prison for it. So we cannot live in a society that forces people to capitulate to the demands of surveillance or evidence gathering. If you've done nothing wrong, the burden has to be on the other party.
I
to prove it,
understand, and I know
not
it's a
the
liable case, and it's
you
not a
cannot,
criminal case, and I
you-
get all
hold on.
that.
You cannot force a person to submit to your accusations
No, I
against
didn't say
them.
that. I didn't say
I'm
that.
Not, I'm not saying you. I'm saying this is the argument presented.
I understand, but
So
yeah,
when
going
it
back
comes,
quickly,
wait, real quick. So
Brian did just say that. Why didn't you just submit to this test that I can't make you take? That's what he literally just said. And he just now said, I didn't say that.
when it comes to Trump, that dress did not exist at the time of the allegations, and they were trying to use it to get a DNA sample against Trump. The most honorable thing Trump should and could do is deny and refuse to be submitted to a DNA test over an accusation that is dubious.
quickly, the point that I was making earlier. Let's just say, for argument's sake, you're right. I don't agree. I actually do think it did happen. I'm telling you the truth. But let's just say, for argument's sake, it didn't, and E. Jean Carroll's a liar. I look at the man's history.
So you
I
wanted
look
to
at-
go down the line
I look
of
at the
like,
womanizing. I look at raw dogging a porn
Now,
star
let's
and then
pause real
paying her
quick.
off $130,000, cheating on every
And
woman who's
that's-
ever been with, bragging about going into teenage girls' locker rooms
Okay.
for a pageant without their permission on the Howard
so
Stern
it
there-
wasn't,
there is a
their
reason
locker
why-
room. We can
It
pull up
was
the
a
video.
pageant. It was a
It
room
was-
in a pageant that he
it
ran.
was a room
and
in a
three
pageant
women
that he ran.
So you're allowed to go in there when they're half naked, and you're okay with that, and brag about it sexually on.
How do you know they were half naked? He didn't say that. He just said he went in the dressing rooms. He didn't say they were half naked. Brian makes all this shit up in his head and makes it to the worst extreme he can think of, right? If he says, I get to go back on stage at the Miss Teen Universe, he pictures naked 9-year-olds. That's just exactly what it's got to be, the worst possible thing that he imagines, even though no one has said these things.
The Howard Stern show. You have kids, man.
You should actually pull up the clip because it's not how you put it together.
Brother,
is not
are we-
right.
are we-
Laughing and
So let me-
joking
let me
about
tell
it.
you,
hold on.
because you're going to ask the question.
Okay, guys.
Why would I vote?
Wait. Are we like? I think any point made about the Howard Stern show is instantly just disqualifying.
There were 3 women that,
hold
that
on,
were
hold on.
interviewed that said that that's exactly what happened.
Howard
they were
Stern's
half naked,
show.
and he walked in.
Okay, Howard Stern's show is intentionally meant to be lewd, lascivious, and antagonistic.
Gross.
And so people go on there and say the craziest things. I just say
What's up, the
the Howard
Jess?
Stern
But
show is
even before
disqualifying.
that, or
Glad you
even
made it.
Things done
But the
and
women that were interviewed, were they disqualifying when they actually
on the
were
Howard
interviewed
Stern
about
show.
this?
Yep.
No, they were not on the Howard Stern show.
Oh, no.
They were
I'm
interviewed.
not talking about those interviews. That's
And I'm
fine.
talking about that incident. If you want to throw away the Howard Stern
You are talking-
show, that's
so-
one thing.
so-
But there are
okay,
women that
so
confirm
hold on.
that did happen.
That's fine.
Brian.
The argument we're having right now is you mentioned that Trump went on the Howard Stern show and said things. Bro, Howard Stern, what did he do? Like launch hot dogs at women's tits?
Yeah, but that doesn't
it's,
mean
it's
that-
meant to be insane.
But it doesn't mean that what people say
Why wouldn't you?
is automatically untrue. They
Thank
may
you.
be.
That's my
no,
point.
but it's not credible.
All right. What would you say about a
but
guy
this-
who says he
this is my
doesn't
point.
respect somebody because they were captured?
This
in John
is-
McCain. What do you think about that statement?
I didn't really care to be.
You don't care.
I thought that was
Don't care.
didn't care.
This
Why?
is the guy
No
who was
one
5 years
cares.
was
You know why?
a POW.
You know why?
He was tortured
Can I
for
tell you
5
why?
years.
Can I
And
tell
you're
you
telling
why?
me you don't
Can I
care?
tell you why? Because the things that I heard about what he was doing while he was tortured and how he had connections with the people
He didn't want
running,
to leave his people behind.
what he had connections with those running the camp and how he let other people go through
Okay.
worse situations.
The guy dodged the military
like this.
5 times, and you're
I go
okay
like
with him
this.
shitting on someone who
I
was
go
a
like this.
POW?
No one-
I didn't
hold
say
on.
I was okay with it. I said I don't care.
You don't
No one
care.
cares.
Well, I
No one-
do.
no one-
No, people do.
Great.
No, they don't.
There's a
Can I
lot of
tell
people
you-
in the military
Can I-
that
Can I
do
tell
care.
you why I decided to vote for him over Kamal?
Yes, Brian really cares because he likes to pretend like he was in the military, and it really helps him whenever you have respect for the military that he pretends that he was in. Him and his dad, as a matter of fact.
Kamala Harris or anyone else?
Does any
And
of
they
this stuff
weren't.
bother you at all?
Can I
You
tell
just don't
you?
care?
Can I tell you why?
I want to hear you, but
Can I tell you why?
I know, but I just
Because
want you
Trump is not my God. Trump is a part of policies. The left has killed more people that look like me in the womb than World War II.
How are his policies
Hold
working?
on. Hold on. Then in the womb, his policies of pro-life actually helps. His policy, yeah. Oh, geez, babies dying. Oh my God, 13% of the population actually sick, doing 40% of the killing of babies, bro.
I have a
That's
I
a
got a
big
question.
deal to me.
I got
The
a
fact that I'm a Christian with kids and want my
I'm happy
religions
with
to be
that.
out there.
Okay.
Wait,
That's
okay,
why.
guys,
let's talk
So it's
about
not
that.
just
Wait, wait,
about
wait.
Donald Trump because I don't
respond to
worship
that.
I have
a
a question, I
man.
have a question.
We don't worship
Can I just
men.
respond to
On
him?
the
No,
left,
sure.
they worship Obama.
Okay.
They worshiped Biden, and then they tried to worship Kamala, but it
respond.
wouldn't carry.
Let me respond about
No,
that.
wait. You put up your whole thing. I'm going to tell you why over and over and over. I want less government in my life.
To be fair, some Trump supporters do worship him a little bit. Like they were fine with all the Jesus pictures on Twitter and such. So some of them do worship him a little bit. So just be fair.
Our biggest reason is because I lived for 4 years under Biden. Sid took my shit that was in my house without charging me. I couldn't fly, even to come on his show twice. I couldn't fly without people following me. That's why I didn't vote for them, even though you can go down the list of how Trump is this. They were coming after me. They were killing babies. They were promoting death in a community that needs help. They're not sitting there having the dumbest people in their public schools because they've been sitting there lying to them about everything's
you wanna
racist.
talk about-
and now everybody
you wanna talk-
in California, in
Wait till
Chicago,
you're
where I'm from, in New York, all these people are dumb. We've
Yeah.
lost generations of young men and young boys and young girls to this dumb thing. That's why I didn't vote for the
good.
left, and that's why I
Good.
voted for Donald
I can
Trump.
raise my voice too, and I can.
Yeah,
tell
you do.
Okay, so let
you
me,
do.
Okay,
This
so
is
let-
passionate.
So let me
and
respond.
the fact that this
So
guy,
can I talk
he's not
now?
my master. He's not
You're
my
done
God.
spurging out,
So it
let me
doesn't
know.
matter. It's
Can I talk
working
now?
out. It's great.
May I respond?
Please go ahead.
Half the time that you just spurged out.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
For the minute and a half,
Whoa,
go ahead.
Spurg is
hold
a
on.
slur, bro.
Hold on a second. So first of all, let me start by saying this. Okay, you're anti-abortion. Okay, I don't call it pro-life. I call it anti-abortion. But if we're going to
It's
talk
pro-life
hold
because
on
they're
a second.
killing life, bro.
Dude,
They're
I
killing
talked for
life.
5 seconds.
They're
okay?
killing life.
Can I
I don't play about that shit.
Let me finish?
I don't play about
All
that
right,
shit. I
guess
lost a
what
son myself.
Well, guess what?
So you know
let
what?
me talk now.
Go
Guess
ahead.
what
Go
I
ahead.
don't play about?
Go ahead. Go
Taking
ahead.
health care away from millions of Americans. Taking food.
How are you
gonna
taking it
talk
away?
For 5 seconds.
Are you taking health care
Are you
away?
going to stop interrupting
Are
me,
you taking
dude?
it away?
Wait, just
Can I
let
talk?
him finish.
Every other word you're interrupting
Go.
me, bro.
Right
Let me
now,
finish.
because I'm tired of waiting.
Okay,
Oh, he means free health care. He's taking away free health care. Well, maybe you got to pay for it then. Sorry.
well, guess what? Stop talking and let me finish now. You can have your spurg out again about talking about abortion. That's fine. I disagree with you. They take away food
don't like his
stamps from
chances.
from millions of Americans. He takes away health care from Americans. It seems to me very interesting that after the baby is born, he's against maternity leave. After the baby is born, you're against all these government programs that can help poor people.
I don't want bigger
Let me
government.
finish.
I don't care
Let me
about that.
finish.
I don't want bigger
I know.
government.
You've made it very clear.
Yeah, so I don't
You've
care
made it-
about that.
you've
So
made
your
it
point
very-
doesn't matter.
you've made it-
You voted for
I'll
the
take my
left.
hat off too.
You
so
voted
took
for
your
the
hat off.
left.
I'll take my
Good.
hat
We're
too.
both
All
bald.
Put it
right.
back
Okay,
on.
Thing is,
Baldy,
I
I'll
don't
take
care
my
about
hat
those
off, too.
things because those are bigger government. At the end of the day,
take your
everything
hat
you're
off.
talking about is
Let
putting
me
people
finish.
to
Look like a red penis.
rely
Dude,
on them.
you keep
It doesn't
interrupting.
matter.
Okay, wait. Okay,
That's the
hold
thing,
on,
it
hold on,
doesn't
hold on,
matter.
hold on.
Let me
No,
finish.
because he started
He's
with,
gotta finish.
how did you vote for this guy who I'm going to list? And I go, you know why? Because of these things.
Okay, brother.
And you bring back up
I have
instances from the left.
You gotta
I'm like,
let me
I don't
finish,
care
dude.
about none of that.
He's got to be able to
But it
say.
doesn't matter
1
from my
minute.
point that I made
Let me-
based
No,
on
I-
you going,
we can
why'd you
just-
vote for him?
Dude, you got to let me finish. I've talked for like 10 seconds, dude. Okay. There are a
There's
lot
more
of
than enough.
government programs out there for talking about policy that Donald Trump has taken away from Americans, the biggest tax breaks for the top 1%. If you care about poor people and people that are living paycheck to paycheck, look at where the economy is at right now. He promised that he would lower all our prices on day one. By the way, this is pro-life, right? No, he didn't.
On day one, it did.
Let me finish.
On day one,
No.
it did.
From the time that he took office,
he did.
are you going to
Okay. I've got
time-
something I'm trying to say, but I can't until he finishes.
Yeah, please. 30 seconds if you want to talk about the economy, okay? Based on almost every metric from the time Donald Trump took office to right now, inflation was up 0.6%. It's 4.2%. It was 3% when he took office. He said he was going to end the war in Ukraine in 24 hours. All I have to do is pick up the phone. There are still people dying. The war is still going on in Ukraine. He said he was going to be a peace president. He said he wasn't.
How is this even possible? I hate Trump after all the Zionism shit and how he turned to the deep state, and I can't stand him. How is he not able to win a debate about how bad Trump is? Like, it should be so easy, but he just goes after the shit no one cares about. No one gives a fuck about some mean thing he said. So what? He's a dick.
Going to start a war. How the fuck did that work out? Look at this mess in Iran right now in the Strait of Hormuz. It's open, it's closed, it's open, it's closed. So I want
Get to that.
consistency
Get to
from you.
that.
I will respect your opinion when it comes to abortion. We can have a decent conversation about abortion and what I think maybe we can do to work together. But if you care so much about that topic, you should all care about innocent people that are dying. They don't have access.
Because you care. You don't get to tell people what they have to care about just because you do. That's the part he never understands. You don't get to tell people their morality.
To health care. They don't have access to food stamps and government programs that can help these people live. So I want you to have that
He is
same
feminine. I said that
passion
earlier,
after the
before you
baby
got
is
here.
born, not just before the baby is born,
the
because
thing.
you're a hypocrite.
No, here's the thing. I don't think those things work. Why? Because I actually live in those communities, homie. I watched that shit tear people down for decades. So you want more programs, more government programs that have been destroying the black community? That's what you're sitting here screaming at me about when I've watched it not work. The healthcare
what he's
doesn't work
watching.
for them like that. Yes, it does,
Healthcare
dude.
destroys
What are you
communities?
talking about? What are you talking about?
What?
What the government run healthcare? Number one has been is inflated the
So
price.
take it away?
The
What are they
people
supposed to do?
who took it away. They didn't vote for the
Medicaid.
Obamacare. They didn't vote for it.
What's his healthcare plan?
Donald
What's his
Trump
healthcare
did not
plan?
take it away
What's
from
his
anyone.
healthcare plan?
Donald Trump did not take it away.
What
They
is
didn't
his
vote
replacement
for it.
plan?
They didn't vote for it.
Can you tell me what his replacement plan is?
Ultimate replacement plan.
What is it?
He
Where is
said
it?
it in his first debate back.
Where
in
is it? Where's the
2016.
plan? He hasn't presented it to anybody. Where's
Okay,
the
so
plan?
what do you want me to do? Go and get it for
No,
him?
I want you to admit that the guy that you voted for is a moron.
He said
and
he
can't come up
said
with
it. He
policy.
said it in the first debate back in 2016. Do you know what he said?
What did he say?
He said what we should do that the government doesn't want to do. It goes, we should put it on the open market and let the market
Where's the
decide.
plan?
That's all
Where
it
is
is.
it?
But these guys won't vote for it because it puts money into the
He
government's
hasn't-
pocket.
You're wrong.
What are you
He
talking
he
about?
hasn't-
It collects more taxes.
He hasn't presented a plan to the
said this
American
in his
people in
first
10
debate, did
years.
he not?
Ian, what do we
Said
do?
in his
Who
first
cares what
debate.
he
I'm having
says?
the time of my life, dude. I want to go another hour. We're not in a rush.
Jeez. So you're talking about, why do he give him the health care? He had nothing to do
I
with
have
them
a
voting.
fucking
Here.
plan.
That's
Okay,
the
wait,
plan.
I
The
fig- I
free
saw
market
everything.
is the plan.
I
You
figured
sit
it out.
there, you
Where is it?
you go put them on more government programs.
Where
We
is the
literally
plan?
have watched communities
Where's the
go to
plan?
the crap because of these government programs.
I figured
and
it
you're
out.
screaming for more of it? Are
Wait,
you
wait, guys.
insane?
No,
The
you're
first
insane.
big government program destroyed the black family, but you want more of that? You want them to sit there and go get soda?
Medicaid destroys the
The
black
first,
family? What the hell are you
the
talking
first,
about?
Are you listening? The
I'm
first
trying to.
government program that they were given, which was called the welfare program, homie, that destroyed the black family. That's what
Welfare-
we're
Yeah.
seeing right
Okay,
now.
so by the way,
That's what
there's a
we're
lot of
seeing. And then
people
you
that
want to give these obese
right,
individuals
so-
who have lower education
First of all-
more crap
Yeah, those
food,
are the people who voted for
more-
Donald Trump.
More
Low
crap
education.
food.
I agree.
The black community voted for Donald Trump at an 85%.
No, I think-
85%,
Yeah,
dude.
I understand
85%.
that. I
And they're in the
understand that.
squalor. They're at the bottom of the barrel.
What are
They
they
You're
against?
decided to
you're
partner
saying-
up with the
You're
left.
saying that health
the
care
bottom at the
destroys the black families?
Government-run healthcare does like the rest
So
of the
where's the
world.
replacement plan? You haven't given me an answer.
I did. Oh my God.
So if-
did you not hear me say
Where is
something?
it?
Did
Where
you
can
hear
I
me say
find it? Hold on. I have a question.
Hear me say it?
Where can I find
Hear me
his
say
plan
it?
on the internet right now?
I kind of want.
Where can I
I
find
want
the
clarity
plan?
too. So you said
He
that
has concepts of a plan.
you said that welfare destroyed the black family. Explain an example of what that means.
That meant they started to incentivize. I can't even get the word out. Incentivize the women to not have the men in the homes in order to receive money. And the more kids they had, the more money they were going to get without the man being in a home. The home is the first form of government. If you don't have the father, who is the leader, be there, now
Disciplinarian.
it's run by those who shouldn't be running the home on their own. Now, this is not the same thing as situations the guy leaves, he dies, or anything like that. They literally, the government came in, and now the government has become the father. I know police officers in Chicago and LA, they get called by single moms all the time because the dad isn't there to rear the children. That has been a problem for 60 plus years. And all I hear you screaming and those on the left is more of the same, as if
No,
we're not looking
that's not what
and
I'm
going,
saying.
hold on.
Not
If we're
what
not
I'm
looking
saying.
and going, you just said more government programs and food stamps.
Yeah.